It has been made very clear that Manchester United do not have the funds to do January transfer business unless a sale happens. Could that be getting Casemiro, Eriksen off the wage bill? Could that be Marcus Rashford, Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho, among other players that have been linked with a move? So, hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to another Manchester United transfer roundup. We're going to round up all the transfer news that we've heard in this last week, especially today ahead of the January transfer window in United's plans, because there is a breaking report coming out that United are closing in on a Zirkzee exit. There's updates on Rashford, there's updates on Casemiro. I'm going to talk about where this news has come from, how reliable it is, and we're going to break down what Romano said, what the reliable sources said, what's come out today, what is the plans, and what we know ahead of the January transfer window. So I want to make everything really clear about where Man United are at in January in this video. So first of all, it was said that Man United have no budget to reinforce the squad in January. Club sources have stressed United would have to sell to buy amid their struggles to comply with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules and financial fair play. And external source says United can't do anything without movement from their squad. Now, there is a lot of talk about movement from the Manchester United squad. This report's come out just now, which I'm going to say take with a pinch of salt, because every single aggregator account always quotes Tuto. Everyone always quotes it, so you think it would be reliable, but it doesn't ever seem to be reliable. But they've been banging on about Joshua Zirkzee exit for the last couple of weeks, and they've come out just now and said that Juventus are getting closer to a deal to sign Zirkzee on loan from United until the end of the season, and that the agreement includes an option to buy, which can be triggered if Juventus qualify for the Champions League. They said last week that United have agreed to let Zirkzee leave on loan. And we also know from Court Offside that Manchester United have set an initial asking price of 50 million on Rashford. Man United are willing to let Rashford go. And we kind of know that Zirkzee was sort of brought in to complement Rashford. So if Rashford's going, it sort of makes sense that Zirkzee could be going. And apparently Juventus are ready to offer for Joshua Zirkzee, but they're not interested in a move for Marcus Rashford. Just set is what's said by Mike McGrath. But we go back to this Joshua Zirkzee news. And I'm going to say take it with a pinch of salt, because Tuto's full of crap. And I think you've got to think Thiago Motta, Zirkzee was good in Italy, Zirkzee was good in Motta. Juventus need a forward, bish bash bosh. Makes sense. I don't know how United feel about loan deals. I think they would want to recoup at least 25 million for Zirkzee to see him go to Juventus, if I'm going to be totally honest. But that's what the talk is about. I don't 100% believe the source, but Motta's at Juventus, Zirkzee did well in Italy. I watched Zirkzee Bologna. He's a much better player than he gets credit for. I think because a lot of the Man United fans haven't watched a lot of Zirkzee and don't understand the player he is, and that he's not a traditional striker. I think that's why he's probably been getting more stick than any other Man United player within their first 3 months. Højlund didn't get the level of crap that Zirkzee's got within months of joining the club, and I think because he's quite misunderstood. Now, I think the way that Zirkzee was sort of hooked off and booed, it feels like it's the end for Zirkzee. He's only been here a couple of months. I'd love him to turn it around. I really enjoyed watching him in Italy, and I think he's being chumped on too fast. He's only been here a couple of months. He's young, and there's much bigger issues at this club. Like, he works hard, and at least he has the mentality. But I wouldn't be shocked if Man United looked to cash in on Zirkzee in the next 6 months. But what I will say is, we saw this with Tonali in Newcastle. Italian sources, when a player that's good in Italy leaves for the Premier League, the Italian sources always just write nonsense, like the player is unhappy and they want to go back, this and that. Marcus Rashford is unhappy. The fact that Antony came off the bench ahead of Marcus Rashford tells you everything you need to know about Amorim's plans for Rashford. And Man United are looking for a 50 million sale of Rashford. Now, I think in some way we could get 50 million for Rashford, but I think the fact that it's January, that is going to be difficult. But apparently Arsenal are ones to watch on that, but I wouldn't want to see Rashford in an Arsenal shirt. In terms of other exits, because Man United may just do loan deals as well, even if they're not going to bring in money, the money they're going to save in wages could give them the funds and a little bit of leeway to bring someone in on loan or potentially do a deal. And we're going to talk about the transfers in that Man United are looking at doing, the left wing back scenario, which is obviously the priority, and who United are looking at bringing in. We obviously like Matheus Cunha. That's been confirmed he will not be available to the summer, but there is a couple of names that could be available in January. Now, first of all, Real Betis have asked Manchester United to sign Antony on loan in January and are willing to share his salary. I think if Zirkzee and Rashford go, then there's no way Antony's going, but I think that Ineos's priority would be to get Antony out of the club, but I think they would do a permanent deal. I think they want a permanent deal to see Antony out of the club. Now, when Ten Hag was here, it was said they were willing to do a loan for Antony, but now the situation of Rashford's gone down and Rashford's likely to go, it seems that Rashford's priority is to get rid of ahead of Antony now, so there could be a shift in whether they're willing to do loan deals for Antony or not. Now, interestingly, a player that I know that United are keen to shift is Casemiro, because he's on 350k a week, and it was said the Saudi investment fund are determined to sign Casemiro from Manchester United in January, and Casemiro is open to a move to Saudi Arabia, and this has been said by decent sources of information, and I think Ineos are willing to sell Casemiro for a cut price just to get him off the wage wage bill, which would massively free us up a few funds to invest. Interestingly, Napoli have expressed interest in signing Luke Shaw, and United are open to offers. I mean, look, I like Luke Shaw. A fit Luke Shaw, absolutely. But Luke Shaw can't stay fit. Luke Shaw and Mason Mount are two players that, if fit, I think probably getting our best starting 11. But they can't stay fit, so they need to go. And if we could get Luke Shaw, we could get Antony, we can get Casemiro off our hands, one of Rashford or Zirkzee goes, then the funds all of a sudden become available for, you're talking an attacker and a left wing back, you're talking maybe even a third deal. I don't think that's going to happen because we're not very good at selling and the wages we give players. But I think one or two players could be out the door. And Zirkzee and Rashford are the most linked to being out the door. But Casemiro, Eriksen, Shaw, Antony. They also want Lindelof gone, but I don't think anyone's going to bid for him. Ones to watch. Melas is also another one we want to get rid of, but we just don't believe it's going to happen. Now, there is interest from Real Madrid in Delot. They're willing to pay 40 million apparently. And if Trent stays at Liverpool, that's maybe 40 million for Delot, who doesn't suit Amorim ball long term. Atletico have interest in Garnacho and could be willing to spend up to 60 million per FFP. And I think United have to look into that, as Garnacho hasn't started one of Amorim's last 5 games, so clearly not highly rated. And it was said that Man United want Eriksen and Lindelof gone because they're free agents in the summer, but I think getting rid of them in January is difficult. Casemiro, Antony and Rashford also in exit plans seem to be the 3 United are focusing on letting go. In terms of Garnacho, I think he's probably the best asset in terms of being able to get money in for him because he's not on ridiculously high wages and 60 million is quite a lot of money. But it was said by Chris Wheeler that Manchester United are unlikely to sell Garnacho, but a combination of factors such as fee and paying off a lower value contract would at the very least make United give any offer some consideration, is what's been said. I mean, 60 million interest in Garnacho. I think if Amorim's saying, you know what, it's not my long-term plans and I need a left wing back, maybe United consider doing that. It's crazy that Delot and Garnacho are 2 players in August that were seen as untouchable that are now very touchable because a new manager's come in that plays a very different style of play that just doesn't really suit those 2 players. Continuing on, let's talk of United bringing in a goalkeeper, and it was said that if Olmo Bellingham leaves in January, Manchester United are understood to have looked at Royal Antwerp keepers Sen Lammers as a possible competition for Onana, says Chris Wheeler. And I think bringing in another keeper and a better keeper would definitely be ideal because I think Onana's been wishy-washy. Is that the word? Like just poor. I think he was really good, and then Amorim's come and he's been really poor. So I think he needs some genuine competition, and we just know that Bellingham himself is not good enough. Now we've got through the potential outs because the outs are more important for the ins to happen. Let's talk about the ins and what United's plans may be. So Ruben Amorim is keen on making a signing in January, and the left wing back is the main target. United Frenzy also said last week that both left wing back and right wing back have been identified as positions that could be bolsters, and there's genuine concerns within the club regarding the options that Amorim has at his disposal. We look at the recent results, we look at the players at Amorim's disposal. It's very obvious that Ineos want to bring people in. Ineos want to bring people in, the board want to bring people in. It's about the funds that we raise in outs to bring people in because they don't rate the United squad and they know how important a wing back will be for Ruben Amorim. But Fabrizio Romano then gave a detailed update last night saying that Manchester United are monitoring the progress of Bournemouth left back Kerkez. Now, Romano's linked us to Kerkez since May. He just signed with a new agency in 2025, Romano said. He said, obviously, we got to sell players in 2025 due to FFP, and only a few players at United are untouchable. Amad Agate, Yoro Maino, I'd assume. He also said that United are focusing more so on the summer transfer window and will not be busy in January. It's more of the opportunities there. Could they get Dorgu for 30 million? Could they get Mendes for 40 million? Could they get Kerkez for 35 million? Can they even raise the funds to get that deal done? If there's a left wing back available for a good price and they can raise the funds to do that, United will be active in January. But sadly, the summer is more likely going to be an active window. It was said that United appreciate Nuno Mendes ahead of the January window as well by Romano, who's been heavily linked to the club and is apparently Amorim's first choice left wing back. Florian Plettenberg broke that United are highly interested in Mendes, but PSG want to extend his deal beyond 2026. It's 2026. There's no agreement imminent. Mendes shares the same agency as Amorim. United are keeping an eye on the situation. And Fabrice Hawkins, that's a very reliable source of information, then said, later on this week that, Man United put an offer in. The player doesn't want to stay at PSG, wants to leave. United are interested in the player if they can get him for the right price. So according to Fabrice Hawkins and RMC, who are good sources of information, it's one to watch. We then had reports come out from United Districts 2 days ago about an interest in Jobe Bellingham. There's also talk about Chris Rigg and Jobe Bellingham from the Muppeters and United being interested in the players. And Sam C of the United Stand has said that a number of Premier League clubs, including United and Arsenal, are watching and tracking the progress of Jobe Bellingham, who could be open to leaving Sunderland at the end of the season. Morgan Rogers' profile, quite a physical player, which Manchester United may need, but I think they'll be looking at more ready-made players. Now, talking of ready-made players, a player that we've been linked to, and these are two players that we've been linked to, but I don't quite see it as realistic, is first of all Dani Olmo, who could be available on a free, as Barcelona are really struggling to get him tied down. As of now, he could be available on a free tomorrow. Would he go to United? I'm not sure. City, Arsenal, and Man United look in that situation, but I think he's probably a good fit for Amorim's system. If we could get Dani Olmo in on a free and a left wing back, I am all for those deals. It was also said that Manchester United are interested in signing Tomori as well. We've also been linked to Christensen and quite a few centre-backs on the market. I'm not sure. I don't think we massively need a centre-back. I don't want to bring in some, cut price centre-back for depth. I think Mazraoui can play centre-back, Euro can play centre-back, Shaw can play centre-back, Leachy can play centre-back, Maguire can play centre-back, Delic can play centre-back. There's always Lindelof. I think there's a lot of options at centre-back. We've got Kukonki. For me, any funds need to go on left wing-back and left 10. That's where the funds need to go. Then in the summer, right wing-back, left centre-back striker, and athletic midfielder to replace Casemiro and Eriksen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below, but I thought I was going to round up all the news that's sort of been coming out today and a little bit of the older news just to give you context of these stories into sort of a 10-11 minute video for you guys as well. But you've also got to remember that Ruben Amorim had it very difficult when he first joined Sporting, and then once he got transfers in, we went up a level in the second season. There is talk about Victor Osimhen to United, but it's not from reliable sources. And there is also talk that United could do a loan deal for Marcus Rashford as well. And apparently Chelsea are interested in a loan deal, which is an interesting one there. There is a lot of talk, there is a lot of rumours, but I think it is sell someone, left wing back. I think that is what United are focusing on. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.